Ninja here. Hope you're doing well. Just so you know, I will never ask you for money or tell you I'm going to invest your money. Down in the comments below, those are scammers. Don't believe them. I want to talk today about, and there's a story that I'm going to go over, and it has in the title that none of us have ever experienced this before. And it's very important that we get ready for what's coming because we are on totally we're in uncharted territory, but we're actually not, because all of these things that are going around, multiple wars breaking out, economic collapse, were told to us a long time ago. They were shown to us. These are identifiable cycles, economic cycles, empire cycles, war cycles, and they're all converging. And honestly, it is the greatest opportunity in our lives. And if we sit around and feel sorry for all the people that are affected by the wars and the effects happening, I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what wealthy people around the world want you to do, because they want you to have nothing. They don't want you to own anything. They want you to rent everything and be happy. They want you to be in fear. They want you to answer to them. They want you begging them being the governments, for help. But all of these things happening all over the world were identifiable. Like I told you before, I knew about that flu that was coming on the earth, and I tried to warn my fire department, I tried to warn churches, and nobody would listen. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about these wars, and we're going to talk about that. But at the same time, I want you to be prepared. Okay. Now, I want to explain something that I did a while ago that most people don't understand. And I get the pleasure of speaking with a bunch of real estate professionals today that have taken that real estate crash course and are telling me how that crash course has changed the way that they are not only doing business, but they are taking care of business at home. And they are super excited. I am going to change my entire life pretty soon, because my job is to warn you of things coming, but actually give you actionable steps through this channel or through coursework, whatever. It's either free or you pay for it. That doesn't matter to me, but actual steps to where you will become more successful so that we can get back the wealth of this world that has been taken from us decades and decades ago. All right. I have a link, 80% off, $199 for the real estate crash course. That is not going to always be around. Now, just so you know, for everybody, that is just a real estate crash course, and in and of itself, you're going to save or make 10 or 100 times that if you put all of those steps to work and identify these cycles. But it doesn't come with the bonus fee, courses. That was to the people that paid $250. All right. Let me just read this, and I'm going to get into this story because I think it's important. And then anyone that wants to timestamp the story and say, hey, the ninja actually started talking about the story at this time, perfect. Right here, I am a realtor, and my husband and I have done flips and rentals. We were days away from closing on a beach house in the spring of 2021 when things fell through. At that time, we started watching you on YouTube and have learned so much regarding real estate cycles, good and bad loans, and economics in general. And your faith in Jesus Christ is truly brave and inspiring. That is a student of the real estate crash course and someone that I get to meet with today and start recording things, because we're about to take this up to level 11. I'm not joking. That's not a joke. I am so excited and inspired by your stories and what's happening and how you're able to now identify these cycles and actually do something about it. Take actionable steps. All right, so let's do this. We're going to dive into this story. The story is out of Zero Hedge, and it truly is uncharted waters. And that is exactly where the elite want us, because they want us scared and afraid and not doing anything. They want us sad and feeling sad and not doing anything, okay? That is the most important message I can give you right now, is that you sitting stagnant. Remember, a body in motion stays in motion, all right? They want you paralyzed, okay? In fear, either in fear of capital markets going down, in fear of war. They want you in fear, all right? And what is the catchphrase of this channel? Type it down below. It's so important that you live that catchphrase. It's so important. It's so vital. And that is, be prepared, not scared. You can't have fear when you're ready for what's coming. And there's so many different ways to prepare your mind, your heart, your finances for what is coming. And then when you do, because all they want you to do is miss a credit card payment. Think about that. If you miss one credit card payment, you are set on a trajectory that will stop you from taking advantage of the greatest housing collapse, one of the greatest stock crashes, one of the greatest bond collapses right now that are happening right now in history. You will be kicked out and not allowed into capital markets, into to getting loans, and that is exactly what they want. All right, that's why and how crashes happen, because a majority of the people, even if they wanted to dive into a market and dive into an asset that's falling in value, knowing that in the future it'll go up, they can't access it because they can't get loans. That's how our system is built. And once you realize that, you can take action right now to get ready for it and then take advantage of it. We are building an army of people that are prepared, not scared, and are going to charge them out. And there is a specific time point in this next housing cycle when you are going to want to buy, and it is not what most people think. And it's when, I'm not even going to get into it. That's for the course. That's all right. Here we go. Out of Zero Hedge. Timestamp this for everybody. The ninja finally got to the point around 5 minutes and 53 seconds. We could be looking at a war economy that nobody today has ever experienced before. And that is very true. This is a big deal. This is a big push. This is a 100-year cycle. It never rains, but it pours. Brent crude futures closed up more than 5% on Friday, peaking back above $90 a barrel for the first time in almost a fortnight. U.S. 10-year yields were down more than 8 basis points at 4.61%, and the long bond was down more than 10 basis points to 4.75%. That equates to a loss of 19 basis points for the 10-year and 21 basis points for 30-year treasuries in just 1 week. Let me stop and remind you that foreign buyers are drying up. The world is walking away from the dollar. You have never experienced this. This has never been in the history books. This is new, and this is going to lead to massive opportunities. It says the S&P 500 closed down 22 points, with losses being led by high beta information, technology sector, and consumer discretionary, while defensives and energy performed well. Who can blame markets for being jittery? The events of last week are shocking, and if not entirely surprising. The world now holds its breath as Israel prepares for a full-ground invasion of Gaza. But it's not just Israel. Let me keep going. As the title of today's daily suggests, it never rains, but it pours. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken now finds himself the busiest man in the Biden administration as he jets around to be chastised like a naughty boy by world leaders in the global south. Nobody wants any U.S. world leaders around them right now. All right. The world is divided into two economies, the BRICS nations versus the West, which is Europe, US, and Canada. All right. We are no longer wanted. All right. We have pushed sanctions, war. We have pushed war and death on the world for decades and decades. People need to understand that. The rest of the world is sick and tired of this. And what is happening right now in the Middle East is building up to be quite a battle, but I want you to understand there is about to be supply chain cuts that is going to affect our global food supply, and especially America. Get ready for this, because our food supply, even though we produce most of the food, right, that goes around the nation, it's not set up. You could have all the broccoli in the world, but if you don't have a way of shipping it and packaging it simply to your own country, you can't get it to them, and there's going to be a stoppage of that supply chain. You've already seen that, not only with what happened with the flu a few years ago, but what happened with the Russia-Ukraine war. Oh, sorry. Price of rice is exploding. Price of wheat's exploding. It's because of them. You're like, well, wait a minute. We make that in our country. Doesn't matter, because it's not packaged to go to you. It's not sent to go to you because government set up tariffs. I'm sorry I digress, but this is going to be a big deal. They don't want you making your credit card payment. That's it. I'm not joking. It's that simple, because once you do that, you can't take advantage of the crashing real estate market. That is what I've been trying to prepare people for. And if you don't invest in yourself, you don't put a couple dollars out there to invest in yourself, you won't pay attention to the coursework. You won't pay attention to it. It's like borrowing someone's book. You never read it. And people need to wake up now. Type 1 if you are getting prepared right now, that you see the writing on the wall, and it doesn't matter what your family and friends say. If they say you're nuts, you know that they're the ones that are nuts. 9 times out of 10, the people that are going, hey, those people are crazy over there, they're the ones that are crazy because they don't see it. They're just part of the masses, and they think that, oh, no, we're normal because everybody's moving the same direction we are. Well, guess what? You don't get to be a multimillionaire or even a millionaire or even a billionaire by doing what everyone else does. End of story. So to everyone that's typing 1, because they know, as they're jumping on this call right now, they know that, hey, no, I'm getting ready for this. I don't give a crap what all those idiots out there think. But hey, You can't argue with the fool, because what happens when you argue with the fool? You become the fool. So check this out. Blinken has warned in recent days that Azerbaijan could soon invade Armenia. I've got a buddy that his wife and children are over there right now in Azerbaijan. And it's scary. It's nerve-wracking. But you got to sit there and go, why would you go? There. My heart goes out to people that have family in these countries right now, because at any moment airports can get shut down. He says, we've been suggesting for some time that the world security order is collapsing. And that's because the world's economic system's collapsing right now. Practitioners of idealist foreign policy will have to update their favorite bromides of the rules-based order, because such a system no longer exists. Recent events suggest that we are back to Hobbesianarian, I don't even know what that is, Hobbesianarian order that prevailed before the long peace, and potentially on a path to something worse than great power tension and regional proxy wars. And that's actually very true. We are not talking about small proxy wars and one country trying to push another country into dominant, being the dominant player. And this is a big deal. There is no way in hello that this doesn't end up in economic collapse. End of story. I don't care if you're listening to Jim Cramer, if you're listening to, what is that guy, that Ramsey, all these guys that are always wrong. They never tell you what's coming ahead. They just got a great lie, just got a little bit of truth. Oh, you should just keep buying like a bobblehead. Oh, and by the way, use this affiliate link, Jizo. These guys, it's like the president of the National Association of Realtors, 100% wrong in 2007 when he said, real estate's not going down. You guys are crazy. It's just going to keep going up. It's because they're eternal cheerleaders, because they make money if you're buying. You need to identify these steps now, these cycles now. And if not, you can watch the Economic Ninja channel, because after this, I'm just going to be on a plane flying around the country filming you guys just crushing it. And it's just going to be, we're just going to call it the Crushing It channel, because that's all it's going to be. Because people that sit there and go, you're doom and gloom. Well, you're an idiot. You can't see the writing on the wall. Yeah, but it's just doom and gloom. Okay, copy. But you know what you're also going to say down there is you're going to say, this Crushing It channel is this really, it's too happy and positive. I'm just depressed over here because I've lost everything. That's what the people are going to say. It doesn't matter where you are when you're ahead on the cycle. Well, hey, everything's crashing. Get ready. Get the storm shelter. Get in there right now. Or if you're like, hey guys, I'm out. Buy Bitcoin, buy silver, do all this. We're making money. It doesn't matter. I've been on both sides of those. I've been the super positive. Oh my gosh, I just bought Bitcoin and it's like $500, and oh my gosh, it's going to go up. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. Oh my gosh, I bought silver. It's like $10 an ounce. You guys should buy some. Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah, okay, go XRP at 2 pennies. You should buy it. You're an idiot. I get that. Okay, everything's gonna crash. You're really an idiot. It's like, it doesn't matter. I always love doing this one. Type 2 if any of you guys have family and friends that think you're crazy because you're getting ready. I just love that one. I just love it. And I love that you guys get to put your thoughts on here. All right, here we go. As popular historian Nally Ferguson alarmingly describes in the Times, Niall Ferguson, over the weekend, a cascade of conflict has the potential to escalate to a third world war. Okay, even if it doesn't, the fearmongers are out. They're trying to rattle markets. That helps a crash. All right, that is a worst case scenario, and one that we can still avoid, but it is a risk. With events moving as fast as they are, nobody can anticipate what might light the fuse on the geopolitical powder keg. Indeed, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan's now infamous statements just 2 weeks ago that the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Think about that. That's just like Ben Bernanke coming out in 2005 or mid-2005, 2006, around that time saying, I don't agree with Wall Street saying that housing can go down. We've fixed the mortgage-backed security crisis and housing can't go down. It's never happened. And then boom, within a couple of years, millions and millions of people lost their homes. Millions and millions, even more people that didn't lose their homes, but just missed a credit card payment or a car payment, right? or lost their job couldn't buy those homes for 50 cents on the dollar. This one's bigger. You could get mad at me all you want. You're a doom and gloomer. Well, I don't know what to say to you. I'm not even arguing with you. I don't want to get down to your level. Just timestamp this and then prove me wrong in a year. There's been people that have tried to do that. Where are they now? It's crickets. It's weird how the haters, and I love the haters. It's awesome when the haters are telling you lumber's never going to go down in price. And then the futures collapse like 60%, 70%, and then the price comes down. Well, it's still expensive. Like, you just don't understand cycles. You just don't get it. All right. It says here, what are the implications for financial markets of this worst case scenario? Well, it's not really the right question. All right, let's read on. But if we have to answer, it's probably a combination of inflation, financial repression, scarcity, and long overdue reversal of multiple expansion. Okay, that's just poorly written. We would be looking at a war economy that nobody in markets today has ever experienced before. I agree with that. Unthinkable as the prospect is, it's not hyperbole. The tails are getting fatter by the day, and this week at least a clearing of the clouds will herald the beginning of a storm rather than the end. Look, the fact of the matter is, we have seen supply chain disruptions just from the Ukraine and Russia conflict. And I want you to understand, type 3 if you agree, Russia is not putting its full force into that war. There are a lot of people that just don't understand that. And once you understand that, you start to see that, oh, wait, the media is trying to trump something up that's not really there. Oh, I said the bad word. Now the algo is going to be pissed off. You know what? There's so much happening right now in the media that they don't want you to see, and they're hiding it. Even to the point where Taylor Swift, that's weird. She's getting beat up for flying a personal jet when she's Mrs. Environmental, and all of a sudden she's doing something that has to do with the jets. So then all this news just hits over the top of that and doesn't show you what's really going on. Weird, but that's how they do it. This is a total psyop. And once you identify that, you get super pumped and excited to take advantage of that. Look, the fact of the matter is, we are in uncharted territory, but at the same time, we're not. This is simply an economic cycle. It's a war cycle. It is a social cycle converging all at once, which means it's a super cycle. And once you realize that, you're going to get excited. I read a book, The Next Great Super Cycle, and it was a long time ago I read it, and it just absolutely opened my eyes to how these converge and how population density and values as a turn and change inside of a economy, inside of a nation, how that sways public opinion, how it sways investments. And you just need to understand there are some very powerful people, and they're only powerful because they have money. That's it. That's the key to power in this world. That's why what that Rothschild said back a while back, I care not who writes the laws of a country, give me control of the money supply and I will rule the world. So this is what my plan is. We need to take control of the money supply. That means you need to become rich. You owe it to yourself. If any of you have taken a vow of poverty, that's a lie from the pit of hell. That is not godly. Get into right thinking. Go and pray about that. Because God wants us, and it says in the word, to occupy the land. That doesn't mean rent it. It means own it. And also God says he wants you to be a lender and not a borrower. Well, what happens when you're a lender? It means you've got resources to lend. People, stop listening to the pit of hell where you need to be humble and poor. That is a lie from Satan. That is why God says the only thing you can test him in is tithes and offerings. That means you can only test the God that created this earth and created you with money. Why? Because once you figure that out and you break free of that bondage, get ready, because your life's about to change and it's going to change for the better. See? It's that easy. Guys, I'm going to put the link down to the course, 80% off, $199 right now. Things are going to be changing, and I am going to bring you so much value. It's insane. Have a great day. The Economic Ninja is out.